Good morning, everybody. It's Lynn from A Bit of Birdsong. What time is it? It's 8:10, so 10 minutes after 8. And I'm going on a fun field trip this morning with my sister and my mom. Jason is here today. He doesn't teach today. Anyway, it feels like a good day. I think it's taken me a few days to start feeling back to normal again after the whole ER episode. Anyway, every day is precious. Every day is such a gift. I want to have the right kind of attitude every day. You might remember this art journal that I created. Oh my goodness, I don't even know how long it's been. I lose track of time out here with the different projects I'm working on. This is a quilt covered art journal, and I was really inspired by the colors here. You know, I think I may take this netting and scrunch it up and stitch it together, at least in this corner, because it's going to give it more texture. I laid this piece of netting on top, and then on top of this fabric, and then put the beads. You know, I made several long wire bead thingies. I'm still waking up. I haven't had my second cup of coffee yet. It's brewing right now, so I'm going to go in and get it in just a couple of minutes. But I had a lot of beads. I want to start over. I'm really organizing, as everybody knows, reorganizing. And I decided to take all my beads and make these beautiful strands of beads on wire. Just so pretty. I don't know what I'm going to do with these yet. I said I was going to do something special, and I am. My plan was to attach them to journal covers, which is what I did with this one. I just used the zigzag stitch on the sewing machine, and I've talked about this a million times. I probably don't need to say it every time, but in case somebody, is listening who hasn't heard this before and doesn't know this, you can set your machine on a zigzag stitch. And of course, it goes back and forth and moves the fabric. But if you put the length to 0, the fabric's not going to move. It's not going to, come forward. It's just going to sit in one spot. And you can make the stitches wide as you want to and just go back and forth on anything and hold it in place. So I just did that at several spots where the beads were low enough that I could get it under that foot and get that done. I do think it's really pretty. And this journal, the way I was working in this one, and let me tell you, this one is made in a style that I like to make them, where I make signatures with just 2 pages and put them in with these fabric strips. I went through and put color or a background on every page because I was doing that little formula I like to use called G.R.E.A.T for great journal pages, the ground floor. And then the repeating pattern is where I left off. And I did go through and started putting, you can see like the chalk circles here. And I don't think I've done that. I haven't done these pages in the back yet. I was trying to do the whole thing at one time, which has been fun, but it's just been hard to get back to this and to do page by page and get it to dry and then do the next page. But this one has the repeating pattern. It's this stamp here. And you can see I did some metallic circles. I like to keep my shape makers close by. Call them shape makers, and I think this was one of these little tubes here. Fun to use. I have all sorts of things that I use for stuff like this. So where we are now, I do need to finish the repeating pattern on every page, but we're to the point of putting ephemera. And I really want this journal to be just visually, I guess, what's the word? Elaborate. I want it to have a lot in it. And I think these pictures, these beautiful bohemian looking ladies, would be nice in here. I think I'm going to have to get a new printer. I've had mine for a long time, and it's been a great printer. But I think it's starting to give me some problems. Minor problems. It still works. I print my labels. I printed these pictures, but it seems like there's a line going across this page back and forth. and it's just time to get a new printer. It's very faint. See it? It's like she's behind a Venetian blind that's almost transparent. I don't like that, but I don't have a lot of choice right in this moment. And my printer has also started pages sort of stick, like it'll start to pull one through and then it doesn't come all the way through. I don't know, I really don't like the lines through that. I'm not gonna worry about it though. It's not too bad. It's because this picture is so large, and I've done the cleaning. I've done all of the cleaning that HP will say, you know, do this, do this. It's sort of an automated thing. But I think with all the colors in here and all the patterns, these really rich. Sorry about that. That was the alarm to go in and get my coffee. I've got a couple of pieces of fabric here. Anyway, don't you think that's going to be pretty? And some of these old pictures with the color in them, they feel old and sort of just black and white, and yet, or sepia, I hear both. I don't know which way you say it. I just think that's going to be really pretty. And it doesn't have to mean like these layers that I talk about for making great journal pages. They can be built on, and they can be interpreted in different ways. But it's just a really neat process for getting things on the page. For instance, now that we're at the ephemera layer, it doesn't mean I need to just stick down a piece of ephemera and not do anything else to it. Sorry, I'm talking away from the camera. I was looking for my little corner punch. Maybe around those edges a tiny bit. I've got a few more minutes though before I need to go in. This is not going to be a long video. I really want to be on time meeting my mom and my sister this morning. And here's let's see if this will tear off. Sometimes, oh, it does. I'm so glad I checked before I cut into this. Sometimes these fabric samples have paper glued on the back that it won't come off. It ends up leaving a sticky residue, and it's better just to cut it off and use a small part of the fabric. But this actually came off pretty easily. Most of it is. So maybe we will get to use almost all this piece. I don't need to do all of that on camera, but it's hard to stop once you start something like that. You can use, like, I think it's pretty to have a little piece of fabric underneath a picture. So it doesn't mean that you just stick a piece of ephemera on the page and you can't do anything else. Although just following those 5 steps, that is very good for people who are just starting out. And it's good for creative blocks to just sit down and say, okay, I'm going to do these 5 steps. And then you will end up with a pretty journal page, and it kind of gets creativity started up again. I don't know if I'm going to use this or not. I'm just sort of checking things out at this point. That's pretty though. I like that. I will go ahead and be cutting these out. I listed the little packs last night to make your own tiny little journals, and so much fun. That was a very fun, freeing project. I think when we challenge ourselves to use just certain elements throughout a journal and not to let it get overcomplicated, we end up with something really beautiful. And I think we learn more about what we can do as artists when we do a challenge like that. What was I saying? Oh, I also listed some Christmas packs, and several of those have sold already. Lots of materials in these packs, and they're priced so that shipping is free. Let's see, there's that. Okay, and there's one more. I have more on my computer, but I just printed 1 page to start with. And I want this art journal to have, as far as the pictures go, I want it to be a theme throughout. I want these pictures all throughout the, or similar type things. I want this to be just a beautiful art journal to sit and look at. And yeah, I think these are really pretty. Maybe I will have to get a new printer soon. I bet the difference will be night and day. That blue in her clothing really pops when you put it on that background right there. They're close to the same color. And just have a couple more minutes. I'll be looking for things for the shop while I'm out this morning. And I don't know, maybe I can get some pictures or something. I always have a great time when I'm with my mom and my sister. This is a fun part of making a project or a journal, pulling your materials together and just sort of dreaming about what's going to work and what is not going to work. I don't know if there's a page where we could end up with this butterfly. So far, it's not really talking to me. And that would be a pretty journal cover. I don't know. Right now, I'm just sort of playing. And like I said, that's really fun. That's the fun part of this sort of thing. And then when it all comes together and you have a completed journal, that's really the fun part. Yeah, so I want this journal to have a lot in it. I'm going to stop. I just wanted to touch base with everybody on where we are with this journal and just let everybody know what I'm doing this morning, and I will be back with things for the shop and also with some actual art journaling and some trash journaling. It is time to visit trash journaling and recycling. So I'm going to stop here and go get ready for my fun field trip, and I will see you really soon. Bye for now.